Okay, guys, this is 37th Street Radio TV, and of course, we are out here hooking up with the host of the interviews, and we have a special guest as usual. So, guest, please just introduce yourself.
All right, thank you very much. 34th, 37th Street. 37th Street Radio and TV. Thank you so much for granting me the opportunity to be on your platform. I am honored. I am humbled. My name is Tony Kwalanda. I am a member of the Assembly aspirant in Kakamega County in a ward known as Manda Shanga. I'm also, I should call myself a veteran journalist. I've worked in the media industry from the year 2008. I'm still in media. Once a journalist, always a journalist. I've been a sports journalist all the way from K24 TV, all the way to Switch TV. Also had a chance to work with many TV stations like KTN, radio stations like Radio Maisha. I've worked with KBC, I've worked with the Citizen, I've worked with the AV. So I've gotten a chance to work across all media platforms in the country. I'm still a journalist. I'm still in the business of PR, marketing, and communication. I do consultancy for different companies. But for now, I am building Manda Shivanga Ward, looking up to becoming the MCA in August this year.
Oh yeah, that's a very good intro. You have
Asante.
So for me, I knew you at K24 while you were doing sport. So your journey in media start from K24.
Okay, so you want to my journey in K24. I started K24. I joined K24 as an intern in 2008, 2009, and that was way back when when you are a journalist, you could actually do everything. So I started as a reporter, as a camera person, as a presenter, as a writer. In fact, I found myself most of the time being the driver, taking myself to assignments, because those days, not many journalists were in media stations. So you find yourself doing a lot of work. So we were the pioneers of K24. The K24 that you see is because of some of us. There are many people who started K24. The likes of Kina Ken Mijungu, Wanuna, Benny Kitili, all of them, they started at K24 when it used to be known as Regional Reach under Rose Kimodo. Right now, of course, it's MediaMax Network Limited. So that journey took me as a reporter, as an intern. I worked for around 5 months. After that, I was taking payment. I was taken on permanent basis, where I used to do every job: editing, video editing, to editing my own scripts, to writing my own scripts, presenting, to coming up with ideas, to producing. So basically, I'm a complete. I am a studio on my own. That's why I to rush. I've stopped somewhere. Nikaomba mahali naweza fanya hii nikaingia tu, nikawasha taa na nikaweka TV, camera and all that. Basically, it's I've gotten that experience from media, and media during K24. I remember, besides just working the TV, I also carried a lot of brands. I've been a brand ambassador of different companies. One of course, the common one that you know is Betin Kenya. That one, of course, that went silent during those two political issues, tax and betting farms. But TV, radio, because I've even done, I've written, I still write articles for People Daily. I still do radio, Milele FM. I've worked for Milele FM. I'm an all-round journalist, which is supposed to be the case. You're not just supposed to know about TV. You're supposed to know every category under journalism. You're supposed to do all the things. Like now, even you, I'm sure right now you're doing this online. I'm sure later on you'll be also to write something about this particular interview. You'll also be allowed to paste stories on the internet. So you see, that's what we call a multi media journalist, because you can work on very many platforms, and that's the only thing that can make you marketable. Right now, it's not about that you are a Kiswahili person. You must be an all-rounder. You can voice a story, you can speak a story, you can produce, you can edit it, you can do everything. 24 has been really the place that I've nurtured myself, the place that I've actually coined my name. I've made my name under K24. And I normally tell people, you just have to be yourself when you're in media. I mean, at the end of the day, you're out to remember your own brand. It's not about the other person. It's about, if media is selfish, you have to think yourself.
Yes. You're talking about being a media guy, and I just want to know, you see, when many people think about being in media, they just want to be the primetime news anchor. You see, so
Yes.
like for you have done a little bit of everything, but what you love most is sports, because even me, I knew you for sports. So like, how did you carve a niche for yourself? Because everybody usually just wants to be the primetime news anchor.
Yeah, indeed, true. Most people want to be famous, so they want to be on the news, they want to read the news, they just want to speak, they want to look pretty or handsome in front of the camera. But that's the case. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of work that goes to TV or to a presenter before they appear on that camera at 9 p.m. to read news. They didn't just show up at that studio at 7 p.m. and went and read news. No, they were in that studio from morning. You might even find some presenters went out and did stories. So there's a lot of preparation that goes to that. Now, for Tony, I love sports. Yes, the sport is something that you can even check the numbers. Sports attract billions of viewers from across the globe. So I thought, why can't I tap into this? And you see, sports will be sports. Whether you're playing sports in Gujarat, whether you're playing sports in Turkmenistan, whether you're playing sports is sports. And sports cuts across all cultures, all languages, all races, it cuts across. And that is the only place I thought that I will make a name myself, because it has returns. I remember we started, someone like Ben Kitili, for example, Ben Kitili started as a sports presenter, reporter at K24, but he changed it into news for reasons best known to him. However, as people are changing there, I thought, Tony, you remain in sports, because that's where there is relevance. That's where you can change lives. You can do stories, as in there are plenty of stories, and you can see how many sports we have. Football, how many footballers we have? Tennis, look at rugby, look at swimming, look at ajua, look at what. There are so many sports, so you will never lack content. And look at it. I mean, time you knew Tony till now. I mean that is sports. In fact, the way I presented sports, I changed how sports was supposed to be. Sports was about people are just standing and giving results. I changed that and ensure that sports is about entertainment. The way as entertainers, the way swimmers entertain us by showing us their talent. Also, I want presenters, and I did the way presenters need to entertain every person. And that's why you found most people used to like the style of my presentation, because it was all about entertainment, informative, and also satire into it. And there is a lot of fun into presenting sports. You're presenting the results, you're presenting stories, but you're making it fun. Ladies don't like sports, but the majority of people who used to watch my sports were actually women. That is so ironical, because I know sports kama wewe mlikuwa mnapenda sports, but you can imagine the show that I did at K24 was, according to the statistics by different polling organizations, ladies are number one. There were 60-70% who are watching my particular show. So I stuck to that. And of course, from sports, that's where I got endorsements. I got jobs to carry, gigs to carry brands. You get yourself, so many people interact with Myself, I also play sports. I play football when I'm at my village in Mandashivanga. In Nairobi, I'm playing golf. And golf, it's the people who make decisions in the world. So sports, besides just presenting sports, I knew sports was an avenue where I could reach so many people, get connections and contacts.
So, like, in this era where we have social media is blowing up, would you advise someone to go to school and study about media, or someone can just start pursuing what you love using these tools? Like we have YouTube nowadays, we have Spotify where guys can make podcasts. So, like, how can you advise someone?
Wow, that's a very good question most people ask me. And let me, on one hand, let me be very crude and very direct, crude and rude at the same time. Any person asking me if they want to go to university and communication, I will tell them, with due respect to communication and journalism, it's the best course you can ever do. However, my advice will be, don't go to college to study journalism. Yeah, if you already need, fine, it's okay, because it's just basically opening your world and giving you insights on how you can change journalism. However, right now, everybody is a journalist, just the way you said it. Yeah, someone can just go to Spotify, open up a channel, and just do production. Now that's already a journalist. Look at Twitter, look at Facebook, look at all these platforms. People are there taking videos, recording themselves, and sharing on that platform. That is basically the simple definition of journalism: collecting information, collecting data, collecting news, and presenting it to the masses. That is simply what YouTube does. That's what simply does. That's what simply Facebook does. That is the job. You are definitely in your own right. Even if you've not studied communication, you are a journalist. As long as you can record something or you can write something on any of the digital platforms as a way of presenting a news item or a happening, that is already a journalist. So my first way to tell someone, do not, if you're yet, don't go to university to study journalism. Study something else. Journalism, you can learn it via YouTube, you can learn it via Google, you can learn it from anybody, because everybody does journalism. However, if you want to be a lecturer or you want to be a master's in this thing, you want to teach this thing later in future, yes, you can study it. However, I will dissuade you from studying it. Do something else. Do journalism just as a hobby. Yes, do it as a hobby. Let it not be something that you live on, because Kenya, most of the journalists that have been there, if you look at the people who are presenting news, they actually never stepped into a journalism class. Or if they did, they stepped into a journalism class while they are already at work. Like, some of them were picked, or they were lucky enough to be given jobs in the newsroom, then they had to learn journalism. That's how most of these people in TV stations did. So basically, you don't need to do journalism unless you have a passion for it, and that you'll be doing a lot of work with journalism. Study. But at unataka kuwa kwa TV presenter, you can be a presenter on your own social media platform and present to us news. If you're a person who does hair products, you can present to us about hair products. You do makeup, you can present to us about makeup. Now, as you can see, social media has categorized people. You can see our good friends who are doing things about farming. They are just, it's a farming channel, and they're giving us a lot of information about farming. That's definitely a television station. That's a journalist. So you can be a journalist. You just need to learn it via YouTube or Google, and you're good to go. So msijisumbue journalism. That's my answer.
Yeah. So, you had a transition from K24 to Switch TV. And most of the time when we see you guys moving to another media house, in our mind, we are like, this guy has been poached. So you can explain to us transition. Maybe did you think that I have been working for this media house, maybe I need to grow, or you had friends who told you there's an opportunity here, please come and try it out? How did it?
Poaching happens, and it's not, sometimes it's not like most of us know it, like they can just today a citizen can think, let me go get for example, let me go Linda Ogutu from KTN, for example. I'm just giving a good example. That doesn't happen. Amongst journalists, we have people who work different. So out in the field, we meet and then we exchange notes. So someone from this K24 will be saying, oh, we have an opening in the business desk. Do you think, can you come? Or citizen will say, oh, but a business desk that needs a reporter, do you think you can come and fit it? So this information, we share it amongst ourselves. That's why you find poaching happening a lot, because when we share this information, we start applying, even if you're working on this other side. So you're applying for a job as Citizen as you're still at K24. So it's an application. It's not that someone will call you at Citizen and then you're poached and whatever. It's something that you have to apply for. Sometimes companies back in the day, like Citizen, will come and switch and of course sweep off an entire newsroom. Now, before they sweep an entire newsroom, it means they have someone at K24 who knows the whole of K24, and that person will give them information about every worker at K24. So whichever worker they want to poach, this someone will give Citizen that information, and then the HR at Citizen will definitely just be calling them, please bring us CV. Are you able to work with us on these terms? And that's how basically poaching happens. But right now, I can tell you for free, poaching is very difficult because it's expensive. And as you can see, media is changing. We no longer need the physical studio, or we no longer need presenters in studio. So definitely the numbers are reducing in the studios, as you see clearly. And they will actually reduce as people continue to use more on social media. So that's why you find poaching side, it's not that rampant as it was in the 2013s, 2014s, and 2016s of the Kenyan media industry. So yeah, poaching happens, and I mean, because we know each other, the boss of Citizen, you can be sure might have been a reporter at maybe at KTN. So definitely they know their friends. So definitely just give them Nani Tony, so kuje ufanye sports. And even that's how it happens. So it's a small neat, it's a well knit community among journalists. We know each other so well. But right now you cannot even know a journalist because everybody's a journalist. From Huko Moyale Huko Juu to Mogotio, like everybody is a journalist. So, but however, with the kind of Media Council of Kenya and now putting journalists together, easier now to know who is a journalist and who is not a journalist, or who is just a masquerader.
Yeah. With the growing of social media platforms, there have been talks, and I want to really know your thoughts about this. There are people who are arguing it out and saying that traditional media is dead, and now we have the different forms of social media. So just according to you, talk to us about that issue. What do you say about that issue?
In Kenya, we will continue watching news at 7. People will continue watching news at 9. Our gorgeous ladies will continue watching their soap at 10. At 10, and then we will continue watching our football at other time. So traditional media will not die, especially in Kenya, because these mediums or media are still commonly used in the masses back in the village. In Nairobi, we've made it look like we don't need traditional media because we are fully on our phones, because we have easy access of data, because we are in Nairobi and it's easy to access data. However, if you go to a place like Manda Shivanga, where I'm vying as a member of county assembly, and look at the topography of that area, it's very hard to use internet. It's hard to have bundles because the reception there is a bit tricky. Yes, you can imagine this is the same situation across different areas in the world or in the country, in this country of ours, because our network is not good. So a small population in Nairobi just makes us think we don't need traditional village. People still watch television and they will continue watching television because that is a medium that has been passed from generation to generation as a venue to get news or to get entertainment. Yes, traditional media will slowly be phased out with time. As I've said, with time. It will take time. It's not to be phased out like in 10 years. No, it will take. We'll still have television. Radio will still be there because radio is an easy form of medium. Like when you go to the village, when I'm in the farm tilling or weeding my plants, I normally put my radio on top of a tree somewhere and listen to the songs or listen to the Tarifa Habari as we continue doing that. Now I cannot put on data bundles and put YouTube on top of my phone and put it on a tree and start listening to Oshago. That is a very difficult situation because I need to have bundles to listen to YouTube. So let me listen to a medium that I just put a battery or a solar thing in the radio, and I'm good to go the whole day without looking at bundles. So remember, only in the big towns that traditional media will be phased out. But remember, even this in Nairobi, they still watch news at 9. They still watch news at 7, and confirm things on television. So that will have media is here to stay. It will not be phased out. It will just be pushed into a corner, but it will be here to stay. Digital media will definitely, it has now caused a lot of changes into how we do our journalism, but digital media is only complementing the work of the television. So these two will definitely complement each other, but they will not face each other out.
Yeah, you're making a transition right now to politics. So you can tell us what prompted you to decide to make this change, and you are vying. So you can just put that.
Yes, yeah, I've always had the urge to be a servant. I've always had that urge to make a change. I know that's a cliche we've had from all these politicians. They all have that urge to work or to do this. However, this started back when I was in college. I've been a student leader in various capacities. I mean, as a Secretary General of the Student Association in Daystar University. That was in 2006 when I was first elected as a Secretary General. And I've worked in other bodies in the campus, so many of them. If I mention to them, I mean, you'll understand my leadership skills started way back. Now, we've reached a point whereby Nairobi cannot be developed anymore. Nairobi has some of the brilliant minds. We have everything that we need. However, we are definitely leaving out communities. We've come to Nairobi to get ideas, to be given, innovations, to do stuff, and then we forget that when we grow old, most of us will retire back to our homes. None of us really stay in Nairobi. Very few people will stay in Nairobi. Very few people have land in Nairobi. Most of us will have to go to the village. Now, these villages that we will go back when you're old, I would rather start preparing a bed of roses for myself by the time I'm reaching 70, a good community to go to. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I also want to encourage you as well as a youth. I want to encourage other young people that we have to remember we have to build the communities that gave birth to us. These communities gave birth to us. And they did not give us birth so that we can run away and forget about them. We have to go back and give back to this community gave birth to us. We have to go back to the institutions that molded us, where we walked. We have to go back there. If there's a problem, if they need a they need sponsors. That is our job. I'm someone who has connections. I'm someone who has good contacts. I have friends in the public and private sector. Now, I am basically taking these connections, these contacts, these individuals back to the village. Every company in the world has a corporate social responsibility program. Every company, whether in education, whether in environment, in healthcare, in employment creation, in every organization has. It's upon me, who has gone to school, has a diploma, has a degree, has certificate, to facilitate these companies to go back to the village and make the best roads with solar, to create greenhouse farming for our farmers who are dependent on rains that have refused to come. They're coming like they have mood swings. So it is upon us now to start going to the village and taking our expertise back there and investing in our villages to ensure we don't lose, so that we don't lose the fabric of a community, we lose the fabric of a village, but we just heighten it, we just improve it. We give our people resources, we give our people empowerment, our women, our children, our youth, our old people. We just go and boost them, because every community continues to live and will continue to exist, whether we help it or not. They just need that start. They just need that boost to ensure they flourish. You can imagine if we boost all these chamas in the village, if we held our border people in the village and just connected them with the correct people, you can imagine how much money people in the village will be making. And that's the reason why I've transitioned from TV, because I've given my best in TV. There's nothing I've not done in television. I've just given my A game. Now let me give my A game to now empowerment, development, and just making our communities back in their home feel like, yes, we're back to Tony Kwalanda, and now we feel Kwalanda is back. And that's what basically I'll do. And transitioning into politics does not mean now that once I get that seat or when I lose that seat, that I'll not continue with the projects that I'm continuing. I have devoted to this mission, that I've entered into politics. Whatever the outcome of August this year, during the general election, whatever the outcome, the projects that I've started do not depend on the outcome of this election. They will continue. I'm empowering churches to start investments, to start income activities. That program will continue. The youth, right now, we are giving them car wash machines. We are giving them tents and chairs to hire. We are giving them generators to work. We are giving them cameras. We are giving them video cameras to do work. Those are projects that will continue. And that is why I have devoted calling. This thing has to be a calling. I just need to wake up because I want to be Mweshimiwa. No. If it happens, the better. If it doesn't happen, the better. I will continue working because I have fans, I have friends who are behind me, who I'm sure will not even stop because I have gotten that seat. In fact, they will even add me more, because I'll not be politically connected, but I'll be living the lives of my people. So that's basically the reason as to why I moved into politics, because I want to change. I want to be that one individual who brought out different way of doing politics for our communities.
Yeah, that's very well articulated. So I want you to advise the youth, like all over the country, when we are voting, what we look for. Politicians sometimes they pay youths and then guys go. So I just want you to advise them. What are you looking for in a leader?
One, a leader should be someone who denies himself the pleasures and the goodies of this life to ensure others are out flourishing. That is the simplest definition of a leader. Someone who denies himself the goodies and the pleasures of this world to ensure someone else flourishes or grows to a better person. That is a leader. And that's what we are taught in the university. To be a servant leader, you will serve. Most of the leaders we have right now are bosses. These are leaders who are in their houses, in their offices, and they expect everybody to call them Mweshimiwa, or to call them or to go after them for, oh, when I have a problem, I have to go to them. No, it's the other way around. You're supposed to shoulder, a leader is supposed to shoulder the problems, things, and everything of the community. That is the work of a leader, to shoulder the problems, to carry the burden, and to have vision and direction to where you want that particular people in the community to go to. You are giving a vision, just like the way Moses was chosen to get the Israelites out of Egypt, and had a vision, had a plan, and they stuck to it, and that's a leader. And remember, he used to burden, he had so much burden. My advice to those who will be voting, all of them, yes, this time round, I always tell individuals, do not vote for a party. Don't vote for a party. Don't vote because it's UDA. Don't vote because it's Azimio. Don't vote because it is ODM. Don't vote because it's DP. Don't vote because it is which DAP party. Don't vote because it is party. Vote for someone who will improve your life, someone who will be accessible to you, someone who will open opportunities for you, someone who you will go to at midnight when your wife is about to give birth and ensure and give out, and hata kama ni pikipiki yako nayo, atakubeba wewe na bibi yako na pikipiki akupeleke kwa hospitali. Vote for someone who has a vision. These things of where people are taking money, I know money is very key in any election and in any campaign. However, I'm also trying to resist or desist or get out of myself from that notion of now using money to lure voters, using money to bribe voters. We continue with that culture. That's where we are right now. That culture was done by our forefathers. Now that our forefathers have transferred it to their children, those are the likes of Honorable Raila and everybody else. That we have shown that culture now that you have to use money to get voters. No. I know this is hard to change, but I like to urge my fellow voters that we have to choose leaders, a leader who will, a servant who will deny himself everything to ensure you get a good life. Personally, I've denied myself so many things. I'm supposed to be in Nairobi, enjoying the goodness of the pleasures of life. I'm supposed to be going on holiday. I'm supposed to be planning how Easter to take my family out. I'm supposed to have that good time with my friends in Naivasha. But I've denied myself things. People think, oh, Tony, you're doing stupid things. Oh, Tony, your vote will go out, will not be voted in, then you'll not have something. It is okay. Let me lack something. Let me not have that money at the end of all those things. But I'm sure I invested in a church. I'm sure I invested in someone's child in terms of taking them to school. I'm sure I'll have invested getting someone a job or a paid internship at a company. I'm sure I will have invested into getting a women's chama, boost the activity, and continue, doing that. I'm sure I will look back and say, I might be having 20 shillings in my pocket, but I know the people in Manda Shivanga are enjoying the luxuries of the plans that are initiated. So I'm asking all those people who vote, don't vote for a party, because a party will not feed you. Even you personally, my good friend, you will not. A party has never fed you. I'm sure even at your home in the village or in Nairobi, you've never seen KANU come to your door and say, "Sisi kama KANU tumekuletea mkate." They will never do that. Look right now at the situation of fuel. We have a government in place. We have a government in place, a government that's supposed to be cushioning us from the adverse effects, both internally and externally. But look at how you and I are suffering, but by way of looking for fuel. We don't know where fuel is, and fuel affects every sector of this life. So let's think about the leaders we vote, leaders who will sacrifice themselves for you. That is a leader. I told myself, and I was told this, Miles Munro in his book says that it is better to die empty. And dying empty means that you gave everything that you had in your life to the society. So even you personally, I want to change you. As in, I know we want to have the best of, we want to have the best car, we want to have everything. But if you have the best car and your neighbor does not have, he will come to your house and get that best car. As I learned also in university by my lecturer called Rebecca Nganga, say that you will never be richer than your country. Right now, look at the situation. The fuel situation is pinching even those people who live in. They have to queue with jerrycans for fuel. So you can never be richer than your country. This is a reminder to you and I that we have to take steps to ensure as I grow up, as I become rich, let me also pull you up so that us can be rich, so that we can enjoy in peace. Otherwise, you will continue having that electric gate and I will still access it if you don't improve my life.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for also sharing with us your journey. At least people can know about your journey. You know, people don't usually know about what usually happens behind the scenes. Yeah. So thank you so much for your time. And I wish you all the best.
And even before you go, just 1 minute of your time. I know you're one time. But let me, as in most people think that Tony comes from a rich family. I don't come from a rich family. I was born and raised from Malava constituency in Kakamega County. I have gone to school barefoot. I've gone to school with that nguo ile unaonanga unavanga shati. Hiyo shati ndio inafunika kila kitu kama kanzu. Hauna kitu kingine huko ndani. We've gone to school as in like a normal person. I have lacked school fees. When I've done my primary, I did my secondary. College, I didn't have school fees. My dad told me, you have to stay at home and just be Tony Kwalanda. Ishi manda shivanga, ama huko utajipanga mwenyewe. But now I had to go against that. I got tafuta fare, nikajilipia fare, nikaenda mpaka Nairobi kutafuta aunti zangu ndo wanipeleke Daystar University. So I've gone through all these problems. In Daystar, I didn't even have school fees. I did work study scholarships that were offered by Daystar University. So you work and study. So you study and then you work, and this institution used to pay our tuition fee. But I also needed pocket money. So I used to work at a hotel near Daystar University